Is it just me, or have the Liiv SANDBOX fans gotten louder since our previous game?
I think they have. Cold start for both of these 80 carries. Do you think it is very wise, as we saw last game, and with the Poppy versus Wukong start here? It's probably going to be a low-kill game and a very bloodless 2v2. It's going to be more about prio for objectives than actually getting kills. By the way, if either of these 2v2s get kills, just isolated, it will be disaster for their opponents, and the game will probably end. So hopefully we don't see any early kills here, because that would mean something has gone very wrong, and it will not be an interesting game of League of Legends. So I like my boring cold start here, you know?
Yeah.
The macro game going on.
Bit of a handshake, even though Renata is no longer in the game.
Yeah.
Let's just farm some minions, guys. Basically what they're saying.
I feel like if Bible messes this up, we'll be a little bit disappointed for him and all that. And, like, there's a lot of storyline stuff there with the kind of, is he the new successor to Beryl in this roster with how he plays and how his shot calling should evolve with this team. But for me, if Liiv SANDBOX are able to win with this draft on red side here, and they were willing to give up the Zeri, which, 3/4 of teams are losing to right now when the Zeri goes through, would feel amazing for them as closer.
Yeah, that's a heroic charge already into the mid lane. Closer not going to flash, but does lose a large portion of his health bar.
Did take Conqueror and, is going to be able to, as soon as he hits level 2, trade back really well here. But I like the attempt here from Canyon. Try to get that health bar low, maybe force a flash, and give Showmaker some relief, as he's had quite a bit of success on this pick recently. You could see the 2-0 there. DWG's perfect win rate, 5-0, like you mentioned.
Yeah, in fact, 3 champions that there are 0 losses on. Haha. As Bible has not been playing DAMWON here throughout the rest of the year. Croco threw in 2 on the Wukong, has liked it, but not quite as much as some of our other players. Certainly a lot of champions that Liiv SANDBOX have played a lot, but have found mixed success. Don't have sort of that ace in the hole type pick here. That's what happens on red.
Liiv SANDBOX have really, basically made it very clear that they think Wukong is still extremely strong. Their priority on it very recently has been quite high, although, as you mentioned, it wasn't his favorite. Earlier on in the season, we saw a lot more Trundle, we saw a lot more Vi. Nuguri out of turret range there, very nicely played.
Yep.
And, these mid-game fights are still extremely strong for Liiv SANDBOX, just like they were last game. However, the Galio is going to be the wrench in the gears of Liiv SANDBOX's ability to team fight properly. Pylon with Cyclone, Emperor's Divide, and the Sejuani. As Canyon will be...
Ooh, just saw him.
Up. Yeah.
Good positioning here from Canyon. Knows that Croco is in the area. Means they take away a bit of that potential for some action. Croco changes his mind immediately, though, as Showmaker is going to get dashed on, but just a drive-by.
He knows the pathing here is to try to defend the bottom 2v2, so he's going to look for double scuttle here and a potential gank in mid. So it gets the, he shows up in mid. Showmaker doesn't react because he's Galio. He's like, yeah, it's fine. I'm good here. And Close doesn't have ult, but he's going to be like, cool, I'll grab double scuttle, and it's going to be a pretty nice farming lead for him and a lot of extra vision on the map.
Yeah, it's DWG very happy this stage of the game. Looking to see a little bit more from Liiv SANDBOX as level 6 is a hit and things like this. First skirmish, certainly a huge time for this Liiv SANDBOX roster, as Kyle just trying to hold on to the wave as best he can while Prince makes his way back. And I think the Prince should be able to collect this cannon.
Yep, nice timing of the back. So cannon minion comes through. Grabs an early pickaxe for some extra trading potential. Just trying to grab raw attack damage stats, frankly, here, and try to actually trade it through as Longsword and Dagger picked up here for DWG, as they're both racing those culls towards completion. And, this type of game, this very slow and boring game, like, I always talk about how the Aphelios and the Zeri, like we normally say, they're feeling pretty good about it, but won't be feeling good about it for a while still. As, the Severe is still going to be stronger in these first few fights. I mean, she has a significant CS advantage right now, closer to finishing that call. Things looking very good for Liiv SANDBOX, actually, at this moment in time. Could be amazing, could be better, but they're still feeling very good.
Yeah, no, I agree.
About the control of the bottom side.
I also feel like Liiv SANDBOX is probably pretty happy as the game goes on, unless there is, like, certain specific problems that start occurring, like the Gwen problem that Dove just got reminded of there as he Arctic Assaults into the Void, and Nogri just throws in some snips. And as you can see, this lane, quite difficult. Down a couple of waves already is the Sejuani, but no cause for concern. This is Liiv SANDBOX. This is what Dove does. as he throws in a control ward, gets another ward down as well. He knows that Canyon is coming on up. As Winter's Wrath come through, just wants to make sure that he can get out before Nuguri can join the fight, who has all of the damage. But this is a plate gank, and this is going to be heckin' successful.
Yeah, so, okay, the Drake goes over to Liiv SANDBOX. It's very similar to last game, but this is a huger win for DAMWON Kia this time around in terms of that early objective trade for the Drake. So Liiv SANDBOX, yeah, they're going to get that early tempo, and it is going to be a more impactful soul, it looks like, here this time around. It's definitely not going to be Ocean, though, we know that. We'll talk more about that on the next patch, but this was really well played by DAMWON Kia, knowing that Nuguri got that great trade. Galio's hitting level 6. They have the Poppy topside. They have deep control ward vision, as you can see on the map there. So they look to force a pick on the Dove. Unsuccessful, but they grab the plates. And also Dove realizing very early on, okay, Showmaker is missing. He's trading aggressively with me. I'm going to have to back away. Now, he loses a massive amount of CS as a result. Loses 2 plates, of course, but he doesn't die. Doesn't have teleport. He's also like, this is really unfortunate. But I like that Dove is able to identify quickly what is happening and then respond. Because a lot of our top laners probably just try to trade with the Gwen under turret and be like, I have flash, like you can't all in me, and then just die by the dive and the Galio comes through. Not Dove. He realized pretty early on.
Yeah, I think it's definitely a good thing that he didn't die, but still a trade up for DAMWON Kia. You can see that represented in the gold just a little bit, about 600. But I don't think it's all that much of a big deal. We mentioned how valuable, and you already said, how valuable it is to stack Drakes for Liiv SANDBOX. They showed us the power of it in game number 1. So DAMWON Kia needs to get more. And what they were able to do last game was get slight advantages to put themselves in a decent position moving towards the mid-game. But then when the mid-game hit, they still fought Liiv SANDBOX, and Liiv SANDBOX won the fights. We need to see that the coordination and the planning for how to make this mid-game a success is going to be there. And with Nuguri on a carry, I feel like that is the best start. Whether it's going to work out, though, is what we need to figure here for DAMWON.
So far, so good, you know? And, you know, he's got that blasting wand. He's just getting some extra raw stats for these trades and is going to be, once he hits his mythic, a very tough opponent to lane against. It's already, obviously, somewhat of a problem for Dove, but it wasn't a true 1v1. Early Rift Herald here with the Moby boots that Bible picks up. He zooms over here, and they have complete control right now. And unfortunately for Liiv SANDBOX, they aren't going to get that 5v5 fight they had last time, or they wanted to take last time around, because DAMWON Kia just faster here is Prince is getting a really nice trade onto Duck Dom. Should be a plate for him at least. Krako's coming down. They do not know.
Yeah, Dokdam is possibly just dove here. Yeah, in goes Krako. We saw the mana come up there as Dokdam is going to try and ult, but can't get away from the devastating blow.
And you know what? That Rift Herald suddenly feels a little bit less valuable when your Zeri, who's already 15 CS behind, is going to get taken out. Now, no kill going over to Prince, but he will pick up the assist and a bunch of plate gold. They're going to leave it to him. He's going to take all that extra money. He's just hitting the turret. Nuguri going to get some top side here, but again, much more valuable for the Sivir over the Gwen for the time being. Of course, that will change later on. But feeling really good about this if you're Liiv SANDBOX. Really nicely coordinated dive. Duckdom just not identifying early enough. Didn't want to lose that CS. Because if you don't get dove and you leave, you just lose a ton of value. And you lose your plates anyways. But he does, in fact, die as well.
Yeah, this is the huge thing. I mean, you were talking about it, right? Like, Dove had all that attention. He survives and gives away everything. He's not a prideful man, you know? He doesn't require a gold lead to feel good about himself. Doesn't require a CS lead. Just needs to be able to hit his R on targets. Dokdam, different story. He needs that gold as much as possible, and that's why he sticks underneath this turret. As, yeah, Q is already channeled. Can't get away from that one. Flash was a little bit optimistic, as now they're chasing after Dove. Needlework coming on in here, and Dove just, yeah, he took the Flash this time as well, actually.
Yep.
And he's going to be able to use that to get himself to safety alongside the Arctic Assault.
Actually is going to get some more experience here in maybe these last 3 minions. Well played.
Wow.
And, you know, he's feeling pretty good about losing a Flash to continue to control bottom side. Kraken Slayer, he is online for Prince, and he got it before he finished his call. He just finished the call, like, right now, so he's sitting on some extra gold on top of this. Really nice spell shield against the Extendo Beam. And Dokdam, you know, he's going to finish his call in 15 minions here, and he's going to get his shield bow online, but it is just such a weaker spike in terms of items.
Oh, absolutely. Quoza is just going to throw Canyon underneath the turret here. He's going to have to flash, does so. Kroko is like, oh, that was clever. Moves himself the other way around. Now it means they've got a 2 versus 1 against Showmaker, and Canyon does go home. He had the empowered Rift Herald recall, and so he is able to get out of there very, very quickly, but looks a little bit silly.
Yeah, that was really unfortunate. I mean, you feel pretty good about a Poppy gank on Nazir usually because you have your steadfast presence, but it's not going to stop him from just ulting you into the turret. No flash used. Kroko did not have Cyclone. It was just coming back up. If he has it, I think might be a dead Galio there after the flash away from Canyon. Canyon losing flash, not the biggest deal because he does have Hex Flash and he's Poppy. But it really does feel like, you know, you could feel Showmaker here trying to make these plays. Canyon, unfortunately, you know, with a big whiff on this engage, not the right call to make it at this point in time. Obviously, if he gets flash, it feels amazing. Just feels so strange to feel like we're watching Canyon make small mistakes here. It just isn't as clean as he has been.
Yeah, he looks like he just doesn't have the plans that he often does. As Kroko and Kyle here in the mid lane. Bible's there as well. Does have the Unbreakable Will. Prince is going to be rotating down, and Liiv SANDBOX eyes on the prize. They're looking for this Drake, and they should be able to pick this one up, catching DWG Kia on a recall. Also, their bottom side is just so strong. You saw there, like, accelerated Sivir with a minion wave, just so satisfying to watch, because that wave clear is just absurd.
Yeah.
Canyon's going to move on over. Nogri is going to be able to take down this turret 2 minutes before these plates fall down. And now Prince with some spare time as well. So that Drake is going to be secured.
It's just nasty how quickly she deletes these waves. 2 levels up on DWG. Well, he does finish his level 8, as they say it, but still, a significant experience advantage between the two of these, which can actually further snowball in the mid-game, as we saw last time Prince taking that 2-level advantage over DWG's Aphelios. Taunt setup here not going to lead to anything. But man, Liiv SANDBOX once again, this time with a more significant Drake to take in this advantage. See how much value this Rift Herald gets before the plates crash down.
Yeah, it is just going to be thrown through to get a bit of damage here, a bit of extra money. Nogri is actually going to take the entirety of the, well, the entire 50% that, of course, he's able to collect after Canyon did tell Shelly to head over there. So I think DWG here have identified who their carry is this game, and it is Nogri.
It's not the Zeri.
No, it is not. Well, not yet.
It can be. Now, if she gets accelerated in a team fight that Nogri helps set up.
Yeah.
On Soul Point, say, which is where I think DWG Kia are going to be looking to take that first fight. The Zeri will actually have her shield bow then. Prince will be potentially having a Phantom Dancer at that stage in time, but he's just going to be kind of an item ahead for this game. He's looking for another plate here. He has the insane wave clear. As DWG is taking Krugs because he's just so desperate for any money he can pick up. There's another solo plate into Prince's pocket. Kyle is nearby. They're not going to dive or anything. They don't know where Canyon is, but the timing of this next fight is going to be so important for DWG Kia. Like, obviously, Nuggery has his Mythic. Canyon will. We'll even see what Showmaker picks up here. Might want to even invest in a stopwatch. Don't know what his current economy is, but this is a must-win fight for DWG Kia. And if they win it, they could stop Soul Point and get the Zeri online if she picks up a few kills.
Oh my goodness. Prince purchased a Harpoon while DWG was shoe shopping.
Yeah.
Whoa, that is it's a slight advantage. As Cull cash-in has come through for both of these players, you can imagine that we're pretty close to the Mythic for DWG, but the plate gold, the extra CS, and the fact that it's just been relentless pressure here for Liiv SANDBOX on the bottom side of the map. DWG wants to go back, but
he's going to lose
also,
his turret.
Yeah, he's going to lose the turret, and he's going to lose all of the farm, most likely.
First turret, of course, did go to DWG Kia on the top side there, but this is onto a Gwen versus a Sivir, and your Zeri is what you drafted for here, not the Gwen. And the Gwen is ahead, but it might not matter if Sivir could just delete her from every fight. Phantom Dancer is online now. Like, Sivir is ready to press R and run at DWG Kia. And if they grab this Rift Herald with the siege they already have with the Sivir wave clear on those minions, plus Azir, they can start taking a really massive macro lead before the third Drake even spawns. The problem is if you force this fight as DWG Kia, you can't win it. You're too reliant on a Gwen that's got half a Void Staff at this stage in time. It's going to be a very difficult 5v5 fight to take without an amazing taunt from Showmaker. Bible flanking.
Yeah, going to have to see a decent ult here out of Canyon as well, as they do manage to evict the Tahm Kench, and now they're looking for the back of this pit. Heroic Entrance going to come down as well. Closer will get knocked up as now Dove. Oh dear, wrong place, wrong time. That was not what you wanted, as Kroko was trying to get a bit of a steal here. Prince looking to escape as Closer shifts some sands. He should be able to get out. Flash available here for the Tahm Kench as DWG Kia. They do manage to win the team fight, and they will also pick up Shirley, who should be able to get done what Shelly was unable to earlier on in this game and take down this outer turret mid.
potentially a huge turning point here for DAMWON Kia. No kill picked up for Duckdom, but it's a huge win. It's all that extra turret money going into their pockets, and it will give them a lot more macro prio setup for this third Drake. And it's all off the back of the Alistair flank and that Canyon ult you mentioned, because it's just not a fair fight for Liiv SANDBOX to take anymore. They aren't fully set up. Closer is left out alone when they decide to bail on the Drake, because he wants to hit a big Emperor's Divide to turn this, knows he will not use it in this fight because he wants to wait till the last possible second so Prince get in. He's just dove on. Look at how many times he's CC'd. Knocked up here as well. Wants to shuffle his way back in to actually look for a big ultimate here, but he's just not able to get in. And we didn't even watch the end of it because it just doesn't matter.
Yeah. They were able to just... I really loved the single out into the backline, and you could see Dove's thinking, right? He's like, oh, I'll just hit them with my ult. But he throws it straight at Bible, who immediately presses R, and it's as if that Glacial Prison just never happened.
Yeah.
Closer can't do damage because he's knocked up, and honestly, like, the amount of knock-up, CC, and control that you have on this DAMWON roster to give space for Noguri and Duckdom is very, very high. So after that fight, you can imagine DAMWON Kia feeling very good about being able to take this Drake and then really being able to push their advantage home. It's just whether or not we manage to find that Liiv SANDBOX moment and whether they can get this one coordinated. Because if they win this fight, then it goes the other direction very, very quickly.
Yeah, DAMWON Kia, they won the fight, but they weren't able to get really strong control over this objective as Bible. Yeah, maybe wait a little bit longer before we jump into that Hex Gate. This is not going to be the same amount of control you had last time around, especially without regular Flash. It does have Hex Flash.
Yeah, we do have the ulti available, but the Glacial Prison is going to come in. There is the sole point, is now Canyon trying to fight this one out. Croco going to find another interruption there with the second Cyclone, and the Devour going to be used by Kyle to keep the monkey alive. Closer, Emperor's Divide defensive. And Liiv SANDBOX, they take themselves the Drake, and they'll just get out.
Yep, and unfortunately, Duckdom just doesn't have the items to do real damage in this fight. He's still sitting on half a Phantom Dancer, needs that passive from the Phantom Dancer so desperately because he doesn't have the speed to actually compete with this roster when they have the Sivir ult, when they have that Cyclone set up as... Got to be careful about looking for a fight here. They're going to teleport defensively.
This is dangerous as Showmaker and Noguri going for it. There's the two-man taunt onto Croco and to Dove. Croco's clone's going to be taken down, but now Kyle's trying to turn this. Bible's going to go down first. Showmaker is real dead. It's just the tip of the boomerang, but that's all he needed. Noguri also. Kyle's just going to lick him, and the Gwen is going to go down. And Liiv SANDBOX, oh man, DAMWON Kia just walked into him.
I mean, you just decided to make this choice, DAMWON Kia. We saw it several times in game one where you're like, you know what? There's no objective really to fight for here, but we're going to try to force this dive. Remember last time when they tried to force it in the mid turret, there was a Renata ult and then it didn't happen. This time they actually hard forced as they had the flank there from Galio. Watch Showmaker's health bar when he gets hit by Kraken Slayer in this moment because he just is deleted. As yeah, Prince is up pretty far, but he kills the turret. So who's really trapped in with whom? As look at Nuguri. He's coming over, he's like, oh, I can't, there's minions here. Showmaker goes down to half health from a few autos from Prince. Bible's like, I don't know guys, this is not a good idea. As the Ricochet just deletes the team. Nuguri once again alone. He's the most fed member on DAMWON Kia, but isolated like this without a real team fight set up, without a big taunt or a front to back scenario where Prince isn't just free hitting. It's not the right call. And now Liiv SANDBOX have such a lead before Baron spawns, before their soul comes online here in 3 minutes.
Well, Canyon, you're not getting that blue buff. That is just not going to be a thing. Croco should be able to collect that. Showmaker's going to come around though, and we're just going to have a bit of biffo. That is going to be secured. Not sure which one of them collected it. As it was Croco. There's a Cyclone. Canyon going to have to flash to get out of the way here as Dove going to flash Arctic Assault, and that is going to be the kill. Croco gets his revenge and the blue buff.
And this game for Croco has been so phenomenal on the Wukong. He's had so many great ults. He helped peel in both of those last exchanges. Again, not able to win the fight on the Rift Herald itself, but still made a huge impact there. And the map control goes to Liiv SANDBOX with a fed Sivir. They could just do Baron on spawn at 20 minutes, and DAMWON Kia do not have a jungler. They do not have a Zeri. She's in the game, she has 2 items, but she doesn't exist. Where is she? She's not here.
I've seen this before, Wolf. This is exactly the same timing, and it's also a similar choke point. The Baron's going to get taken down. Bible has to flash to get himself out of the way as Noguri is trying to get whatever damage he can find here, but he's throwing it into Dove and to Croco. They don't care about it. Now Duckdom wants to have his Zeri moment. It is going to be Croco going down. Extendo beam misses. The flash forward. They want to get anything that they can, and Kyle realizes All right, well, you can have me, but you can't have the rest of my team, or can they? Bible gets himself into position. Emperor's Divide, just beautiful. And Prince says, thank you very much. We'll take that one. Showmaker now overextends as Prince has himself a spell shield, but it'll just kill the gargoyle before anything is relevant. Prince eventually goes down, though, and that is another Baron missing. Closer has his, Dove has his. I think they've got enough.
The solo laners having it is so critical because they can push lanes elsewhere. They're very survivable. Neither of them, unfortunately, have flash anymore, but this is still a huge win. And I don't think we can certify this Zeri moment because we saw at the very end that Prince is way more fed, is almost just delete Zeri in the late part of the team fight as we're going all the way back to the blue buff tussle to start this one off. But they end up taking Canyon out here, which is what leads to the Baron take. They even commit a flash here from Dove to get that extra amount of CC because they know, okay, no jungler, no Baron for DAMWON Kia. Now this was a bit forced because they're trying to both hold Baron aggro and then turn here. They could have just happily walked away, and when DuckDom hits a decent ult, it's like, uh-oh, we're kind of trapped. Galio's got a flank angle, and the damage from the Gwen is not negligible. And DuckDom does come over here for an attempted cleanup, and several of these Barons are deleted. But they are still on the Soul Laners leading into this Soul fight, so still a huge win here on the side of Liiv SANDBOX. Bible also, I mean, nice try, but you are...
Gets a flash for the gargoyle delivery, so I guess there's that. Showmaker kind of regretting it in the end as we have a look. I think it was DuckDom that picked up the shutdown there as well. So yeah, he gets a bunch of extra gold. And so that might have helped move it towards a Zeri moment. But like you say, Infinity Edge is done for Prince. This, this Sivir is the real deal. This Canyon's going to move over. There's the Glacial Prison. They do manage to deny the engage from Dove, as of course Steadfast Presence, pretty good against the slow-moving dash.
Okay,
now Bible, yeah, looking for that flank angle. They get a control ward over, and now Bible looks a little bit silly, making his way in. All right, DAMWON Kia on this Drake now. Oh, it's just going to be stolen. That is going to be Hextech Soul. They managed to kill Canyon as well. Now DuckDom is just going to get scooped into the team, and Liiv SANDBOX, this team fight, it's not even close. Ladies and gentlemen, Nogri getting some work done, but Prince is at full health. That's the problem. And he's able to just get fleet of foot. He runs after Showmaker. He'll pick up that kill as well. It's a triple for the gentleman at home.
And Liiv SANDBOX are playing with no fear. They are just making these plays happen. Croco flashes with a pre-setup for his teammates for the last moment, looking for the smite. So confident he's going to take it. Drops down a Cyclone. And who does he hit? But DuckDom on the Zeri? How is DuckDom this far forward here? He's looking for a big ultimate, but Showmaker is in position. Alistair is 2 miles away, and look at DuckDom here. He's like, oh, I gotta ult this. No, you're doomed. They end up getting him with the Emperor's Divide here. Cyclone's still rolling, and yeah, when Showmaker hits and Bible comes over, the fight is already over because this Sivir is so fed, has a Devour to back her up, and like you said, this team fight is not even close, despite Nuguri doing about 1 billion damage. Yeah. If it's not coordinated, if it's not together, can't be taking these fights DAMWON Kia, but they had to. They had to try for this one because this is Hextech Soul. Last game we were like, ooh, yeah, fighting for Ocean Soul there in that game state, probably not the way. This time they had a huge opportunity if they had set up a proper fight. They lose the 50-50, and then DuckDom is caught immediately by Closer.
Yeah, Bible, Hex splashing, just seeing whether they wanted to get over that wall. Croco going to get slowed down by the Extendo Beam, but not too worried about it. Closer and Prince have done a lot of damage in this game. Surprising that Prince doesn't have the largest number, given the fact that he's the 7-1-4 Sivir against the 0-1-10 support Azir. But Closer just hasn't been able to get those last hits that I think he may actually deserve in this game, because his Azir, he's like making me think that maybe Azir is a champion worth picking, because we saw last week and the week before he really was falling down and down. I mean, as far as his ability to actually win games.
If you're actually actively either Emperor's dividing in a team fight defensively to protect the carry, who's Sivir in these early game fights, who's already accelerated, or you're just simply doing a lot of damage with your Sand Soldiers in an extended fight non-stop instead of just looking for miracles, which I feel like so many of our Azir players in the LCK have done. So I've seen, you know, no offense and not trying to put a call out, but BDD, like, he has not had a great win rate on the Azir and has often walked out of fights with no ults and no damage because he was looking for the perfect ultimate that just never came. This is not the way you have to play Azir in this meta. You have to walk that tightrope of being threatening, but also closing the door on teams by just putting those health bars low, harassing. He chose Leandri's this game and Banshee's Veil because he wants to play that slower fight so the Prince can then follow up the damage. And just been so clean from 10 out of 12 of these kills in his pocket.
Well, Croco going to engage on the Noguri here. Noguri does more damage than him. Bible's rotating over as Dove going to flash on forward. They do manage to get the Glacial Prison as Canyon's going to come down first. Dom looking for his opportunity. Prince is going to turn up, but are they too late? Croco survives for approximately forever, and Liiv SANDBOX are the ones that are able to pick up the kill. Showmaker goes down first as now the flash out of the way of the heroic charge. Dove manages to get more CC. Prince is taken down though. Noguri's going to turn it on its head as Canyon's the next target, but it's Dom that needs to die. Noguri as well now putting his Riftmaker to use as he's getting over to the side. He wants to kill this Sejuani if he can. I didn't even know who won that fight. It was officially Liiv SANDBOX in the end because they got more kills. And now Closer turns up, and they definitely turn it into their favor as Noguri's the only one left alive.
They could have actually just ignored Dom and went to push. He's got his IE now, a little bit too late. And I want everyone to point out as, okay, we're going to go to the beginning of this. This was, quite some time ago. But I want to point out when we go to that fight where Azir is, because now the fight is well and truly on, right? And there's no teleport for Closer. He's just like, I'm going to grab a turret. Can you guys buy time? And the Prince says, this is all about me, by the way. And all the resources used to kill him mean that he has enough time for, guess who comes down? Closer. He's like, oh, remember how close this was? It was exciting. Well, I wasn't there. And I'm here now with my Banshee's Veil, and I'm going to carry the last parts of this as Dove just baits them in further. Baron, by the way, goes over to Liiv SANDBOX in live, and they have so much control over this game. It feels like game one all over again.
Yep. Dr. tried to do some Jet Set radio escaping, and it did not work. Dove here just pushing out this top wave, Showmaker answering. And Liiv SANDBOX have all of the control in the universe. And Prince is back alive again, 8, 2, and 6. Does have his more Malmodius done, also now has a stopwatch. Needs to wait until his flash comes off cooldown. I really like this Ghost adaptation that we've seen from our Sivers as well. It just makes her so incredibly fast in the Zeri matchup. It's like, yeah, Zeri, I get it. You can press R and you're really fast, but I can press Ghost, and I'm also very fast because I have Fleet of Foot and On the Hunt as well.
Yeah, On the Hunt is a big problem for Ducta in this game. And unfortunately, with Banshee's Veil up, look at the items for Dove. Like, he just went straight into Force of Nature. There's just no way for Noguri to carry, nor for Ducta to carry, because they don't have a real fighting chance with, Night Harvester Galio, who's just being deleted by Prince every time he tries to go in. And there's a real angle for Croco here for me on POG if Liiv SANDBOX end up taking it, but after watching Prince in these last two fights, I'm going to have to go the other way, I think. I mean, the guy has just popped off so incredibly well in these fights, and his positioning has been good. He's been willing to challenge the Gwen. He's been willing to challenge the Galio. He knows where to put his damage in the front to back with a Sivir.
And now we're up to Elder. It's going to be live right now. DWG Kia have made it out of their base, at least for the moment. And Showmaker has his heroic entrance up and available. Difficult game with heroic charge and heroic entrance both in it. As Liiv SANDBOX, they're going to start this, and DWG Kia just cannot move in.
Closer on the flank angle has flash and
this is going down. They can't actually get in at all. Showmaker can try and get over the side. Croco's going to lock that one down, and now Canyon's just running for the hills. There's the heroic entrance, but is it too little and is it too late as Noguri will go golden, but they take down the cow. Noguri's going to get taken out as well. They have enough CC as the Dragon will manage to breathe fire on the Gwen. That says goodbye. Now, Dr. How are we supposed to navigate our way out of this one? The rest of the team are like, well, Zeri's alive, but we don't really care. Nexus is also alive.
Prince is just casually grinning from ear to ear at home.
Yeah.
10-2. Last time he was donated a bunch of kills by DRX when he was playing the Sivir. It was 11 kills that were for free. Not this time. This time he earned them. 10 kills in his pocket. He's like, yeah, come at me. You pick Zeri, we're going to let you have it.
And he looked damn good at it while he was there as well. Prince, great game. I think Closer, a fantastic game as well on this Azir as we are going to start the fight underneath the base. Some desperation here from DAMWON. Emperor's Divide to deliver Dom to the team. It's a decent pulverize, but I think it's too little, and I think it's definitely too late as Liiv SANDBOX just mopped the floor with DWG Kia. This wasn't even close, ladies and gentlemen. This was a 2-0 for DWG Kia in the first round robin. This time, Liiv SANDBOX respond in kind at the right time of the season. This is normally when Liiv SANDBOX fall down. This is normally where the pressure gets too much, but they have rallied today, and this 2-0 was a shellacking.
it was an absolute dominant series from them, and